the angels do, and you gon' make it through now. Tell about the healer, greater is the...
Hi guys, so I'm back with another video. I took my glasses off because when I wear them, there's like a glare. Because I have a big like bay window behind me and in front of me, so I'm gonna take my glasses off. I got my clipboard here. I'm gonna read the note that I have. So today we are going to talk about how in the world did I get 6.1 acres of land for $10,000. Yes, $10,000 for 6.1 acres of land. Okay, so let's first start by saying, back when it was just me and my daughter, so this was before I met my husband. Before I met my husband, it was me and my oldest daughter, and my goal, I was a single parent doing things by myself, and you guys, it's a fly in here. I'm so sorry. But I was a single parent doing things by myself. My goal was to get some land, build me and my daughter a house. We were gonna live a good life. Like, I really just didn't have in the picture of me being with somebody else. I just didn't see me being with nobody else. I just always knew it was just gonna be me and my girl. And so I made my life plans based off of that. It was just me and her. I said, I'm gonna buy me some land. I'm gonna build me and my baby a house. It's just gonna be me and her, and we're gonna live a lavish life. So I started searching for land. So I searched a couple websites. I searched realty.com, which realty is amazing. I love realty. I searched realty.com. And then one day I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw some people selling land. So I was like, let me search Facebook Marketplace. Lo and behold, I searched Facebook Marketplace for some land. The land was outrageously priced, but I saw some tax deed land. So I saw some tax deed land. The original price was for 6.1 acres for $20,000. So I contacted the guy that was selling the land, and everything, and I talked to him. He was like, yeah, it's 20 acres. It's 6.1 acres for $20,000. Here's the parcel number. You can go look at it, yada, yada, yada. I went and looked at the property. The property was beautiful. It was not completely wooded. It's about 2.5 acres that isn't wooded. I believe, y'all, I'm not sure about acreage, but I think it's about 2.5 acres that's not wooded, and then the rest is wooded. But the 2.5 that wasn't wooded had just like tall grass. So it just needed to be bush hog basically. But it was beautiful. It was down a dirt road. It was out in the country. The neighbors were like not close at all. Like, I could stand on my property and I won't see any neighbors. And so I thought it was a beautiful piece of property. It was $20,000. So I told him that I wanted to get it. I needed to talk to the bank. So I talked to my bank. Unfortunately, they wouldn't finance it because it was raw land, and they just wouldn't do it because there was nothing there. So I guess they just didn't have any benefits or anything to gain from helping me purchase it. So they wouldn't let me borrow anything for it. Contact a couple other banks. I basically got fed the same thing. I did not know about A&G, so like an agricultural bank, like purchasing farmland or something like that. I didn't know about that type of bank, which I could have went through them to do it, but I didn't know about that. So I couldn't really get a traditional bank to finance me with getting land. So I went back to the guy. I told him, I was like, hey, I really want this piece of property, but none of the banks around here will finance me getting raw land. So I talked to him about doing owner finance. He told me he would talk to his wife, and basically, you know, that they would get back to me. So he talked to his wife. He brought the price down to $10,000, and he agreed to do owner financing. I had to pay, I think it was like 3% down, and then a monthly payment. I forgot what the monthly payment was. This was back in 2019. So this was back in 2019. So I agreed. I had money saved up, so I paid it out. So we got a lawyer to draft up all the paperwork. We were doing owner financing. I paid, I think, like $5,000. No, I paid like $3,000 down or something like that. So I paid like $3,000 down. And I made a monthly payment I got this August of 2019. I did all of that. It was wonderful. I later found out that he had the property for 10 years and he was trying to sell it. And that's why he dropped down on the price so low, because he just really wanted to get it from up under his belt. So in 2019, we did an owner finance for $10,000. I paid $3,000 down and I made monthly payments. Well, then, in 2020, COVID struck. So when COVID struck, we were getting those COVID relief payments, I believe it was. And this, at the end of 2019, no. So I had the land in 2019. So in 2020, that's when COVID struck. After that, that's when we started getting the debt relief payments. So what I decided to do was the debt relief payments that I had, I was just going to pay those in chunk toward the land. Land was only $10,000. So we were getting like $1,200 or something like that or something like that. We got like a $1,200, and then I had a child, so we got like a little bit of extra money when you have a kid. So anyways, whatever the amount was, I took that whole little payment that the government gave me and I threw that at the land. So I was chunking away at, the owner finance at that land payment. So then of August of 2020 is when I met my husband. Me and my husband got together. We moved pretty quickly in our relationship. We decided that we really wanted to do this. So in 2020, we got together, we moved in together. And then I believe 2021, we were still getting the payments, or we were getting like the last 2 payments or something like that, or the last payment or something toward the COVID relief thing. So me and him, so he offered to help me pay for the land. So we took both of our little stipend payments and threw that at my land. So December, and it took a huge chunk. I only had like a few $1,000s left to pay on it by the middle of 2021. So I was making big chunks of payment. I had just gotten a new job. At the beginning of 2021, I had got a new job, which included me getting a raise, like a really, really, really big raise. I was making maybe like twice as much as I was making before. So I was able to pay almost double what my payments were originally toward the land. So at the end of 2021, December of 2021 to be exact, I made the last payment toward the land. December 2021, the land was completely paid off. We were good to go, and we were happy about that. Moving into 2022. 2022, we decided that we wanted to build. So this was like right after COVID had like finished, like lumber was skyrocketing. Everything was like going up like crazy. So we got a quote for a custom build, and they quoted us over $600,000. Y'all, that was not in our budget at all. Like we could not afford like over $600,000 for like, it was probably like 3,000 square feet. There's no way. So we were like, we're not doing that. We're just gonna try to wait and see if, this was 2022. We're gonna wait, see if the prices go down, because we just cannot afford that. So we waited. All of last year, we were like, we're just gonna wait. So that's when last year in September, we decided that we were just over being in an apartment. We were in a crappy apartment. My oldest daughter and my husband both have asthma. There ended up being mold growing in the apartment. At that time, my daughter hadn't had an asthma attack in 2 years because she had surgery. She started having asthma attacks again. So we knew it was the mold. The apartment complex wouldn't fix the issue. My daughter was having asthma attacks like once a week. She went from having asthma attacks like none for 2 years to now back having them once a week. So we just knew we had to get out of that. Finding a place to rent was just so hard. We didn't want to move back into an apartment, so that's why we decided to purchase the house that we bought now. It was an impulse buy. We don't regret it because we really like the house. And we like being in our own place, but it was an impulse buy, but we decided to buy this house last year in September. Ever since then, though, not disclaimer, But we decided to buy a house. Ever since then, she hasn't had any more asthma attacks. So we moved out of that apartment. She hadn't had any asthma attacks since living there. So that's when we moved here. We knew that living in this house would only be temporary. We just knew that it was only going to be a temporary thing. We did not like living in the city, but we just could not afford to move out onto our land. So move on to now 2023. At this point in August of this year, we were getting ready to move on to our year mark of living in this house. We were just ready. I had gotten another raise, and then in July I moved to a different job, so I'm making even more than I was then. My husband has gotten a couple raises since, so we are in a lot better position. The lumber has went down a little bit, so we decided to look into houses again. We looked at a couple companies and the prices just weren't what we wanted to pay. Like, we could afford to pay for it, but we don't want to be house broke. So we don't want to get like a big fancy nice house and then be living paycheck to paycheck paying for that house just because we can afford it. So that's not what we want. So then we looked into double wides. And the double wides look amazing. Like, they look beautiful. They are stunning. They have come a long way. So we really just decided, hey, this is what we're going to do. We want to go ahead and get a double wide. We want to get a double wide, move it out on the property. We could afford it. It was in the price range that we wanted. We can still afford our monthly payments, plus be able to do money with the kids, save money to the side, and like, you know, pay money towards our debt that we have. So we went through with the process. We got approved, our land got quoted, we got approved for the septic tank, permits. We were ready to go. We got down to the last little bit of the paperwork where they had to do the closing, and they were like, hey, your land 12 years ago was part of a tax deed. Unfortunately, the person who you bought it from never got a quick title or something like that done to the land, so you have to do that. So now, since it changed from one owner to the next, you can't get a quick title. You have to get a quiet title in order to insure the land. So we're like, okay, that's fine. We'll go to a lawyer, pay whatever the fee is, get that paid, get the document written up, and move on about our way. We talked to a couple lawyers, and this was not just a quick matter. So this was a matter of, we had to file paperwork, we had to see a judge, we have to wait time, and then we have to go back and see the judge. So it's going to take, initially it was going to take about 4 months to do. So when we originally talked to the lawyer was like, well, what exactly is a quiet title? So we have the deed to the land in our name. But because it was in a tax deed and the previous owner passed away, we can't go back to the previous owner and say, hey, sign off on this paperwork, because, you went delinquent, you're never going to come back and get it. He passed away. So now, at that point, the property went to his heirs. So we have to do a quiet title to let any of the heirs know, like, hey, this property was bought out. If you guys want it, you guys have the opportunity now to claim it. If you guys don't want it, this is your last opportunity to claim it. If you don't claim it after so-and-so date, that's it. You won't never get to claim it again because it went to the heirs. So that's where we're at now. We met with the judge yesterday. The judge approved everything. So now starts the timeline of waiting. So it's about 60 days that we have to wait to give them the opportunity to say, hey, I want it, or don't say anything at all. That 60 days is going to, I think it's technically starts next Saturday. So we're thinking by, it's November now. So by the end of January or the beginning of February is when we should meet with the judge again and be able to complete everything. He signed off on the paperwork and we'd be done. So since we have to go through that process and everything, me and my husband talked, and we were like, we talked to a couple of the mobile home places, and now that they're doing like all these end of the year sales, it's taking them about 4 months to get, their houses and things out to the property. Well, we found a newer building company in the area. It's literally in the same county that we're moving to. And they quoted us for a stick built, it's a little over 2,000 square feet. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Exactly what we want. They quoted us actually cheaper than a double wide, which we were astounded by. And their build is going to take around the same time. It's going to take about 4 months. And so getting a double wide is going to take us about 4 months. So we decided that, hey, we haven't decided permanently yet. Hey, we most likely are just going to go with getting a stick built. It's going to take the same amount of time as the double wide. But the thing about the stick built is we get to customize each of the features in the house. So we get to customize what kind of tile we want in the shower, how big we want the shower, the front porch, what we want our kitchen to look like, what we want exactly our flooring to look like, how we want the rooms to be set out. We get to decide on each custom feature in our home, and we didn't get to do that in the double wide. There were some things in the double wides that we were like, okay, we can live with that. It's not exactly what we want, but we can live with that. And we were willing to settle for that. But now that, we have this opportunity in front of us and we get to customize and have everything each one of us wanted, I think we're going to actually go with that. And so that's kind of the direction that we're moving. We haven't quite set that this is exactly what we're going to do. We have time. We have until, kind of don't have time because January will be here before we know it. But we're excited, and we have until the end of February to really just decide on what we're going to do. And so, yeah. So that's kind of how we came about of our land. That's how we kind of came about of having to get a quiet title suit, why we're potentially not getting a double wide, why we're potentially moving back to doing a stick build, and kind of direction that we're going as far as, what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and how, fast we're going to be able to move into our house. Right now, the goal is to just go through this process of getting the quiet title suit, build up our credit a lot more because, the higher your credit score, the better offers you can get, and things like that, and also lowering our debt. Because if we lower our debt, that's more things that we can actually afford. That doesn't mean that we're going to get a bigger house because we can afford a bigger house, but we may be able to do a lot more custom features inside of our house and also with the exterior of our house, like stone, brick, curb appeal, things like that, maybe a pool or something like that. So we're excited about this. We're excited about this journey, and we're ready to kind of get the ball rolling on building our house or doing whatever we're ready to do, because we are ready to get out of the city. We're ready to get into the country. We're ready to get like a little homestead. I want some little chickens. We plan on building our kids a little playground set. I'm terrified of pools and little kids. I have a huge fear of accidents and kids with pools, so we probably won't get a pool. But we'll definitely do like a playground, a little homestead, chickens, maybe not any goats, but we do have a doggy. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. If you guys would like to know anything else about our land, if you guys kind of want to maybe see our land, we can take you guys there and show you what our land looks like and kind of what our ideas are. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe for more videos, and kind of see our family grow and kind of us on this adventure of debt freedom, building our homestead, building our dream permanent house. Because after this, honey, we are not moving anymore. This is it. We're getting our dream home. And you'll also get to see in the videos, because we're gonna do basically when we get it built, it's gonna be mainly builder grade. So we'll get to see us making the house a home. I may do a little series on that too. So it's a lot for this channel to grow. So make sure you subscribe, turn on the bells for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Boom.
Tell about the healer. Greater is the one within, and call him as the leader. Teach her how to hold a pretty hand up to the sky. And